Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about the importance of making sure that you are vibrating at a high frequency. And so if you don't know a lot about energy work, you may be asking, what in the world am I talking about? So what that means is we are all just made up of energy. And every time something negative happens to us, our energy field, it's almost like we take a ping. If you think about those old time video games, I always like to think about Super Mario Brothers because I'm a child of the 80s and I'm dating myself totally. But in that game, when Super Mario would run through the course, the obstacle course, every time he would run into like an enemy, it didn't kill him right away. It would just drain his energy. And you could see the energy level. There was like a cone-shaped energy field. I don't know. It might have been rectangular. But it would diminish a little bit and go down to a different level every time he ran into one of his enemies. And in the same way, the same thing essentially happens to our energy when someone says something mean to us, or something happens to us that makes us feel bad, something we weren't expecting, our energy diminishes a little bit. And when you want to live a happy life, you don't want your energy being diminished because that causes you to feel sad. You might experience things like depression or anxiety. You will also probably experience fatigue, and all of those things really, it weakens your immune system, so that can also lead to illness. It just does a lot of really negative things to you. But more than anything, we want to live a life where we're happy. And if we allow every little thing to take away our energy, we're not going to be happy. So essentially, when you can think about this as your personal power. When you allow things to bother you, it diminishes your personal power. It takes away your personal power. And we are all susceptible to this. But it's becoming so secure, confident, and in love with yourself that you do not allow anyone else to take away that personal power. And it's a practice of awareness, of noticing when something happens that makes you uncomfortable, that you don't like, that makes you feel bad, and deciding, because it is a decision, deciding that you're not going to let it take away your personal power. And I'd like to give you an example. I'm going to tell you at the end of this podcast as well, things that you can do to help you raise your vibration. Because when you want to manifest, you have to be vibrating at a high level. I've talked about that before. Your energy level needs to be very high. So when you're living a life where you feel constantly drained and you feel like you're being attacked all of the time, that's not going to happen. So what I want to talk to you about today is how to be more mindful, not allowing people, things, situations to rob you of your personal power, and how to get your energy levels back up. That's what I want to talk to you about today. And I wanted to use a personal example because one of the things that I really have noticed, the comments I receive from my listeners, is that they really can relate to my stories. So when I give you personal examples, it's to make what I'm talking about more relatable to you, because a lot of us are very similar. You know, I used to be a people pleaser, and it would bother me what people thought of me. And to tell you that it doesn't anymore would be a lie. I'm working on not allowing people to get to me and not allowing them to rob me of my personal power. And I'm getting better at it. But I'm still a human being. And I still have my moments. These are triggers that come up for us. And I did a whole episode about triggers. So I was going through, every once in a while I go through and I just read the reviews of my podcast because I appreciate the people who leave them. And I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm more in touch with my listeners. And I just appreciate, again, the things that you have to say. So I was going through and I was reading the reviews on iTunes the other day. And someone left a review that said, there's a lot of feedback in your podcast. It's very unprofessional. And at first I was like, oh, great. Even though there were like 3 new really positive messages. And the first one I read, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like on cloud 9 because it made me so happy that what I was doing was helping someone. And this person was saying, thank you for helping me. And that was amazing. And the next review was even better, it just got better. But then I got down to that one review. And my human ego took over for a second and said, you should just stop doing this podcast. Look, you've got this feedback, and here's the real honest deal. No, I'm not a professional podcaster. I'm not. I did this podcast because I wanted to help people. And I don't have a professional podcast set up like a studio. I don't have a soundproof room. I don't have a professional microphone. It's just me. And sometimes I'm recording the podcast in my house, in my living room, sometimes in my room, from wherever I can. And I am a single mom with 2 kids and 2 dogs, and that is hectic. My 2 kids could care less that I'm doing a podcast. And when I ask them to be quiet, they're like, they don't understand. What do you mean? We have a life. We deserve to be able to do what we want to. And my 2 dogs are just clueless. Nala just wants to be a part of everything. And you can hear them in the background sometimes. And I've tried to start doing my podcast in a different room, there's just really in my house, very little space. And I've dealt with it, and I thought, okay, hopefully people are understanding, they don't mind. And then I have this review on iTunes. And I thought, okay, at first I wanted to go to that dark space. My ego said, just give this up, stop doing it. It's becoming too difficult. Every time you try to upload a podcast, it gets harder. These people, that are leaving these reviews, they think you're terrible, so you're obviously not good enough. You should just quit doing it. And then that was my immediate reaction. And then I talked to a friend of mine who was like, really? Like snapped me back to reality and said, well, that's one person. Not everyone's going to like you. And he's right. Not everyone is going to like me. And I need to have friends who throw my own words back at me, which is a joke that we have anyway, that I do that. Like, I'll say something and then he throws it right back at me like a few days later. I'm like, uh-huh. So that's a joke between us. But I need that. Because as I'm telling you that you need to not allow people to steal your personal power, I need to remember that for myself. And so I did allow that person to come in and make me feel bad about myself and feel like I didn't have enough and I should just quit what I was doing, that what I'm doing isn't worth it. And then after my friend said what he said, and I went back and looked, I'm like, wait a minute, that's one negative review. And I had, 3 new reviews. Only one of them was negative. And these people are saying, thank you for helping me. So you're helping. So tell that ego to shut up and don't allow one nasty person's comment. And it's hard to take someone's tone in a written form, but I don't know. To me, when I read it, it seemed nasty, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just supposed to be helpful, which is fine. It doesn't really matter. The point was, I'm not going to let this one negative thing take away from my personal power and diminish my power and make my energy decrease, because comparatively, compared to all of the other reviews, compared to the feedback that I get, what I do makes a difference. And I've talked to people who have animals, who have kids, and they totally understand. Look, I'm not a professional. You're going to get what you get. Sometimes there will be a little background noise. That's not something that personally I can help. If I had the money to create a big studio, that'd be great. But this is just a thing that I do in my spare time to try to help people. So I know that I'm doing what I can do, and I'm okay with that. And if other people aren't okay with that, that's okay too. I don't want anything negative for anyone who doesn't like me or doesn't like my podcast. It is what it is. They can choose other podcasts. I appreciate the people who have chosen this one and who listen and who have left nice comments and who reach out. That's really nice of you to do that. So thank you for all of the people who have continuously supported me. I really appreciate you. So I could have let that one person's comment drag me down into that negative rabbit hole. But because my friend gave me such great advice, and because I know what I know, I was able to snap out of it and to realize that it does not matter what that one person thought. You know, what really matters is what I think. And what I think is, I'm proud of what I do, and I'm not going to stop doing that for anyone else. And it was, you know what, a good feedback, because maybe I will try to be better about finding places where I can record in silence. It might take a little more effort on my part. That's okay. So I chose to be aware of my thoughts and in the moment and to snap myself back out of it. You're going to have people in life who won't like you, who criticize what you do. It's a part of life. Those people are in your life for a reason. They are testing you. They are testing you to see if you really do love yourself, if you're really secure enough in yourself that you're not going to let them shake you from your foundation. And let's face it, every single one of us doubts ourselves at one time or another. We all do. That is our ego. And ego is fear-based. It's going to tell you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not attractive enough, you don't have enough, you're not enough. That is your ego. And when those thoughts start coming into your head, you have to get into the habit of saying, rewind, delete. I am not giving you any power, ego. You need to shut up and take a back seat because I'm driving this car. And you need to replace those thoughts. So instead of me thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have the right equipment and you can tell it sounds unprofessional, I'm replacing that with, I'm doing the best that I can and I'm helping a lot of people and they like my podcast. And as long as I have followers who need me and need my advice, I'm going to continue doing what I do because I love it. And it makes me happy to be able to help others. And I don't care if 2 people don't like me. That's okay. And I'm sure there's more than 2, but I don't care. It's fine. That person doesn't affect my day-to-day routine. I hope that person has many blessings, and I'm going to continue doing what I do. There will always be haters, guys. There will. And the higher you rise, it's like the more they come out of the woodwork because it's a test. It's a test to see how secure you are. Are you still living in fear-based thoughts and allowing your ego to take over, or have you realized that fear is an illusion? The only thing that is real is love. The only thing that matters is love. So when we choose to ignore the haters, because yeah, they'll be out there, but who cares? Oh well, so what? If they're not affecting your day-to-day life, what does it matter? Let them go and fester in their unhappiness, because someone who would do that to anyone else is unhappy and bitter. I'm sorry, but you are. If you take the energy to knock someone else down, then you must have a lot of hurt inside, and I feel sorry for you, you know? And that's how you should look at it. What you should look at it as is this is a reflection of their character, and you should feel bad for them because they have to be hurting. Bullies only bully people because they feel hurt inside. They don't love themselves. So that's what we have to remember. And if you want to raise your vibration, now I want to talk about the good stuff, which is how can we raise our vibration? Because yes, you're human, and when you see something that bothers you or upsets you, it is going to affect you. As I told you my story, it still does me sometimes. But what you need to do, once you realize, oh, hey, I'm starting to go down that negative spiral staircase, stop yourself, take a deep breath, and say, rewind, delete. No, I'm not going to give that thought power. You need to change it with a new thought, and then you can go do something to help raise your vibration. There is a whole list of things you can do to raise your vibration. One of the things that you can do is to meditate. That's a great way because it relaxes you, you balance your energy. So find a nice, quiet little meditation, and 3 minutes is all you need to completely shift your mindset, really. It truly is. Another thing that you can do is to go get out in nature and to ground yourself. So if it's nice weather, put your feet on the grass. Unfortunately, it's getting a little chilly here, so we can't do that, but I love doing that. You can listen to the music that will raise your vibration. I think it's called solfeggio tones. It's angelic tones. Just go to YouTube and search for music to raise your vibration. It'll pop up there, and there's a ton. Just find some that you like and find relaxing and just listen to it for a little bit. Even just listening to music that you sing to and makes you happy, it doesn't have to be angelic tones. You could just, listening to music and dancing and being happy raises your energy. When you dance, moving is another thing that raises your energy. Moving and being happy that you're moving, there's so many benefits to that, and it releases endorphins, which cause you to feel better. So move and listen to some music. I listen to music while I go for a walk. You can use crystals. Holding on to crystals can also elevate your energy. I really like the selenite, and then blue kyanite's great for that too. Just holding on to it, again, taking a few deep breaths, usually clears my energy and makes me feel better. You can also do tapping. Those are great, especially when someone triggers you, when you start feeling that I'm not good enough, that kind of stuff. There are tappings specifically for when you don't feel good enough. So go to YouTube and search for Brad Yates. It's Yates, Brad Yates. You don't even have to search for the name, just search tapping for not feeling good enough. It'll come up. He's one that has a lot. Nick Ortner does. There are several people, but Brad Yates has a lot, and he's really good. And they're not very long. They take as 8 minutes or so, and you can tap, and you can even do it while you're driving. I've had an hour drive before my commute to work, and I would tap while I was in the car. And again, I didn't care what people thought about me driving, tapping, or whatever. I always felt better at the end of the tapping. So definitely do that. There's so much you can do to really raise your energy vibration. You can also take a hot bath with Epsom salts, maybe use some essential oils. Essential oils can raise your energy vibration. I will say you can buy essential oils anywhere, but there is a difference between when you just buy them on Amazon and when you buy them from a company like doTERRA or even Young Living. When you buy them on Amazon, read the reviews, because sometimes it's more of the carrier oil than the actual essential oil. So it will be like 80% coconut oil and maybe only 20% of the essential oil. But when you buy from a company like doTERRA or Young Living, it's just a fraction of the carrier oil, and it's more pure essential oil. So it does make a difference. It really does. Lavender is another good essential oil that's good for relaxation. But just whatever you do, don't spend too much time in this low vibrational space, because you deserve to live a happy life. You deserve to feel good about yourself. So don't allow anyone else to live rent-free inside your head. And when you allow someone else's opinion of you to take over and become your own opinion of you, you're allowing them to live rent-free in your head. And you don't want anyone to set up occupancy in your head besides you. We don't even want our egos to end up there. So make sure that you're not allowing someone to really take over your thoughts. You're not allowing that negativity to swoop in and take over, because those negative thoughts are just lies anyway. That's not true. You know you're capable. You know you have enough. The universe wouldn't send you to Earth to put you through all of these tests if the universe didn't think that you were capable. So the fact that we allow people who we wouldn't let them pick out our wallpaper or our carpeting, why would we give a crap what they think about us? They're people we don't even know. And honestly, is in my case, and is sometimes the case with people, they only leave those kind of reviews because there's anonymity, right? If someone had to look you right in the eye or look in your face and tell you those things, they wouldn't do it. And that's one of the downfalls, I think, of social media and of things like that, is that people say really hurtful things for the mere fact of being hurtful. I mean, there's nothing useful in attacking someone else. I'm not talking about the review in my case here either, though, because actually, I do take the feedback and say, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to try to be better about not having background noise. But I mean, the attacks that people do on social media, there's no purpose to it most of the time. The only purpose there really is that the person who is attacking someone else under this guise of, I'm just using my Facebook icon or my Instagram profile, is that they're feeling better momentarily about themselves because they don't feel good about themselves. It makes them feel superior or feel better to put someone else down. And a true person who is always in a high vibration doesn't have to do that. So when you have people who are very gossipy and just backbiting and bitter, they're in a very low vibrational place. And they have to be hurting inside somewhere to feel like that's an okay thing to do. So don't even waste a second of your precious energy on those people, because they're not worth it. If anything, send them love, because they need it. They need it because they don't love themselves. If they're doing those kinds of things, they don't love themselves. So don't allow them to take away any of that beautiful personal power that you have. Stand firm in your power and know that nothing that anyone says can diminish you. You are beautifully and fearfully and wonderfully made. You are a child of the divine, and you have divine love within you. And that means that you have infinite possibilities within you. And when you recognize how truly powerful you are because of who you are, you wouldn't let anyone else take any ounce of your energy and power away from you. So I encourage you, when someone is a hater towards you, send them love, send them light, and let them go. Don't allow them to live rent-free inside your head. And always be thinking of ways that you can raise your energy vibration. And the most important thing is just being present in the moment, knowing that when you are paying attention to your thoughts are powerful things and they become actions. Your thoughts become things. When you know that, and when you start paying attention to that, you'll stop the negative thinking, because you know that that's what you're manifesting. When you start realizing that when you remain positive and you remain open and you just relax and know that you're being taken care of and you're being guided, it all works out. It really does. Well, guys, I wanted to pull another card for you today. So again, I'm excited to pull a card for you from my Divine Whispers deck. I'm super excited about this deck. I love it. So the card I pulled for you today is Heal Your Past. There are issues from your past that are affecting your current life right now. The universe is asking you to heal your past. If we don't heal from our past, we will bleed on people who didn't cut us. You have to heal those old emotional wounds if you truly wish to move forward free from emotional baggage. When we carry old wounds, the effects can spill over into current relationships. When you choose to heal your past, you are not only helping free yourself from old burdens, you are also healing generations of family wounds. You are totally recoding your family's DNA. Allow yourself to let the hurt go. Hurt is too heavy to carry. Heal yourself and break free from the chains of your past today. And with this comes a healing prayer. Dear Archangels Michael and Uriel, the emotional wounds of my past are affecting my life today. Please help me to heal these old wounds so that I may move forward in my life free from emotional baggage. I ask you to cut the energetic cords to any people, situations, or problems from my past. Allow me to feel lighter and freer. Thank you for helping me heal today. Amen. All right, guys. Well, as always, if you like this podcast, please share it with others. You know, the absolute best compliment that I can get is for you to use the word of mouth to share this podcast and to get it out to other people that you think might benefit from it. That is amazing to me because it shows that you have true confidence in my ability to help and to help those you love. So thank you for those of you who do share it. If you would leave a review for me, I would appreciate it. And no, I'm not going to pick on people who don't leave positive reviews, but the positive reviews certainly do help people find me. If you would subscribe to the podcast, you will know every time I have a new episode, and that also helps people find me. I want to thank you for helping me to fulfill my mission, which is to help as many people heal as possible. Without you guys, it would not be possible. So I really, really thank you for that. And I also want to say that if you would like to work with me, there are so many ways you can work with me. You can now purchase my Divine Whispers Oracle deck. All of the information about the deck is on my website, melissaoatman.com. Don't forget to put in the full address, the HTTP, the colon, the slash, the backslashes, and then www, because it is a secure site, but if you go to it not with the HTTP in front of it, for some reason it defaults to an unsecure site. But if you use the full address, which is in the description to the podcast, it will be a secure site for you. So go there, you can order the deck. Once you order the deck, you will need to allow about a week or two for shipping because it is coming from the manufacturer of the cards, not from me myself. But it is so worth the wait. I love these cards, and I had so much fun designing them, and I want to thank my listeners who are an inspiration for me to design them. Also, if you want to work with me any other way, you can check out all of my offerings on my website as well. And when you decide you want to book, you can simply email me at melissaoatman77@gmail.com. You can text me, you can message me on Instagram or Facebook. There's so many ways to get a hold of me, and any way is perfect. Don't forget to join me on my Facebook Lives Mondays at 5:30 Central, where I do free card readings for you. If you are on the live, I will do a reading for you. I will pull a card for anyone who shows up. And if you cannot make it to the live, just leave a comment that you are there on the replay. I will always pick a few people on the replay for a card as well. Once again, thank you so much for being with me today. I hope that you guys are having a beautiful day and that you are setting your intentions to have a beautiful day. Don't let anyone rock you off your foundation today. You are a beautiful, beautiful soul who is capable of doing anything you set your mind to. And I am sending you massive love and light and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.